So what is a situation that changed my perspective? That's a great question, and what that is really is what caused my paradigm to shift. And so I think that's an important aspect to talk about first. What is a paradigm? A paradigm is a set of programmed behaviors, beliefs, and the way one views life. And for me, when I was younger, I did not grow up with much money. I did not grow up with much opportunity. And I saw people in the area I was living that did have more. And I felt always in a place of lack. I wasn't able to play sports with other people like they were. I wasn't able to participate like they were. And it always gave me this hunger and this drive to be able to participate and experience life the way they were. And so at first, I had to learn how to set goals and learn how to be able to get myself from point A to point B by myself. For example, the first thing that really started pulling me in a direction was soccer. Before soccer, I didn't have too much direction. I was kind of just existing, like I feel most people sadly are. A lot of people tend to be in a state of drifting with no definite purpose and no direction. And soccer gave me definite purpose and direction. And in the pursuit of soccer, I realized that what I was really pursuing was learning how to continually expand who I am and express that to my full extent. For a long time though, my only identity was soccer, and everything I did was for soccer. And if soccer didn't go well, I didn't have a good day or whatever that was. And so eventually I was pursuing professional soccer, and eventually I had to let that go. And when I let that go, I lost a huge part of my identity. I didn't know who I was again, because for over a decade, all that was on my mind, all that I did almost every day was train, play, and prepare to try to play at that next level. And when I walked away from that, I was taking a big risk in order to start a strength and conditioning business, which first was just starting a strength and conditioning career at a tennis club. And I had to make a big decision to step away from this dream I had of making myself the highest level athlete I could be, in order to then help these athletes develop themselves and help them get from point A to point B. And in the process of doing that, what I realized is that when I was pursuing soccer, it was simply just for myself. It was for my own goals, my own motivation, and for my own story. And what's awesome is pursuing soccer the way I did, it taught me many great characteristics, and it taught me what's required to bring vision to fruition, which is you have to have a definite purpose, an absolute thing you want to at first attain. And everything first starts with the desire to attain the position, to attain being on a team, to attain the MVP, to attain eventually trying to play professional. And in the process of trying to attain, one must aspire to become. You cannot just get the goal or get the objective without becoming who you need to be to get that. And pursuing soccer taught me that. It taught me a lot of who I was and what I needed to be in order to try to bring that vision to fruition. And when I stepped away from that, I lost a lot of my identity, like I said, and it was very hard for a while, because here I was as a coach then that was pursuing professional soccer, stepping away, and now helping these athletes get to their next level. What I realized is that my soccer career was not for me at that time. My soccer career was so that I can learn how to be a coach, because at the time too, I did not grow up with a lot of money. I did not grow up with a lot of opportunity. I actually learned how to play soccer out from YouTube. And I would go outside with a ball and leaves and just train every single day. And eventually, I learned the process of how to see a vision and get the resources. At the time, it was YouTube. At the time, it was watching players. At the time, it was studying how players were developing. It was studying the top drills. It was studying fitness, a lot of fitness. I realized too, because at the time when I first started playing soccer, I was out of shape. I was a little heavy, and I realized that if I want to get to this level I'm trying to get to, I have to become the best athlete I can be. Which then that's what drove me into the desire for learning and mastering the art of fitness, or the art of movement with the body, which that eventually led to me being a coach. Which I think is important to understand, that when you have a passion or a desire, no matter how difficult it might seem or impossible it might seem, you have to go chase that, because in the process of chasing that, that might not be the end goal for you, but that will likely be the stepping stone to the next thing, which the next thing was me being a coach. And in the process of me becoming a coach, I had to learn not just how to bring my vision to fruition, but I had to learn how to help someone else, these athletes, high school athletes, set a vision for themselves and then learn how to become who they need to be to bring that to fruition. And at that time, that became my absolute definite purpose, is leaving no gains behind with yamane gains. At first, I started off at a tennis club, and then eventually I moved on to running my own strength and conditioning business, which again, so in the pursuit of all these things, you have to continually shift your paradigm. At first, the paradigm was my own self. It was me trying to get from point A to point B, where I was, to professional soccer. Didn't make it there. Then that next paradigm was taking over all the skills, the habits, the mindset, the training techniques that got me from where I was, though, to where I got to, which was college soccer. I did get a lot further than a lot of people thought I would be able to. I was able to then duplicate that amongst other athletes, and that became the next paradigm shift for me, is learning how to duplicate what I did with myself amongst other athletes. And from there, I started my own strength and conditioning business, and that's not easy because, again, there needs to be another paradigm shift. And a paradigm it's a set of programs, behaviors, beliefs. It's how one views the world. And a lot of people, they don't even have the awareness of what a paradigm is. And a lot of people tend to have habits that they don't even know why, or beliefs that they don't even know where they came from. And it's very important to have clarity on that, to have awareness that your behaviors, habits, your ideas are all programmed first from your family. So if you're born a Christian, you're going to be a Christian. Born a Muslim, you're going to be a Muslim. If you're born a Democrat, you're going to likely be Democrat. Republican, likely Republican. Depending on the environment you're born in is what shapes your original, the OG paradigm of where most people reside. And this is what I would call like the first circle of being. The first circle in life is my aspect of being that soccer player and being who I was at the time. The first circle is all the development of who you are and the forging of who you are from outside people, though. There comes to a point in life where a lot of people start to feel the desire for something more. And this started to come after I finished playing soccer and was pursuing building my business. I desired to not just be a great strength and conditioning coach. I wanted to build one of the best businesses I could build. I wanted to also, in the process of doing that, build financial freedom, which for my family, we never really had a mindset of abundance or wealth. It was a mindset of lack. And so one book that really shifted my perspective in the process of learning how to become an entrepreneur was the Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I knew you were going to say that. Sorry.
And so with Rich Dad Poor Dad, most people, and again, we're programmed through our school system to become workers. We're programmed from our parents to become workers. Go to school, get good grades, then go get that 9-to-5 job, and then keep on hustling, get the nice paycheck, 401k, then you retire, and that's life. And I'm sorry, but to me, that's kind of death. And I know so many people that are so miserable in that position, including my family. And really, the biggest thing that drove desiring me to do something beyond normalcy was my family circumstance. I'm tired of seeing my family living in lack. And I had to figure out, because I didn't have the paradigm or the ideas or the mindset of how to build wealth, I had to figure that out. And so I never read really a book from K through 12. And then after I graduated college, I've probably read around 300 or 400 books, all about achieving greatness, all about transformation, all about how to use your minds to bring visions to fruition. And in the process of doing all of that, whenever you gain new information, your brain will never see any information the same again. And in the pursuit of that, I didn't really realize what I was doing, but what I was doing was I was destroying old paradigms. Also what I would call strongholds. There's a lot of strongholds that hold people into generational curses, such as positions of lack with money, or even positions of brokenness in family. And for me, I have a little bit of both, and my desire is to crush those strongholds. And to do that, though, I need to be able to expand awareness. So, as I was saying, there's 3 circles in life. There's the first circle, which we're all born in. And in that first circle, we are taught who we are, not taught how to become them. We're taught what to think, not how to think. And sadly, most people never exit this first circle. Yet they see people, though. They see people living life like I did. I saw a lot of people living life, and I didn't understand how. Going on vacations, being able to just build these businesses, do these things that just looked amazing. They were living a movie, and I wanted to understand how they were able to do that, and I wanted to learn how to get myself to be able to do that as well. And that's kind of the trigger point, I guess. I guess that would be the desire from where I was to that second circle where I saw other people, was the situation or the trigger that really drove me into wanting to change who I was and change not just my circumstance but my family's circumstance. And in the process of doing so, later on, my goal is to help change many other people's circumstances. But so in that second circle though, and I'm still in the second circle, and I'm explaining the second and the third circle. In the second circle, this is where a lot of transformation happens. And so at first we have to unlearn paradigms. I had to unlearn what I was taught about money, what I was taught about work, what I was taught about time, which what I was taught was you got to work hard, you got to trade your time for money, and you got to do that with barely any time left. And so you can be making six figures and be extremely wealthy if you have all your time. You could be making $1 million and be poor if you have no time. And my goal is not to be rich, it's to be wealthy. So I can use my time, because I believe time is truly more valuable than life. In the second circle, we must expand who we are. We must learn the different skills, attributes, and mindsets that elevate the frequency we're on. So with that, two frequencies, not many people know this or think about this, but on a molecular level, our bodies are all in a frequency, on sound waves. And we can actually use certain scans and screens to see the level of frequency people are on. That's called an aura. And the higher level of frequency we're on, we're going to draw more things on that frequency. The lower we are, the less. And so when we're feeling very depressed or down, we're in those low states of frequency. When we're feeling very expressive, we're in those highest state of frequencies. And in order to become who you need to be, we must figure out how to elevate and maintain an elevation of frequency. And that's part of the second circle, is learning the practice of how to not just get elevated mentally, physically, spiritually, but then maintain that and progress that. Because two, there's never a destination. I used to think there's a destination. Again, when I was pursuing professional soccer, I thought once I make it there, boom, I'll accomplish that. It'll be a great feeling. I'll make some money, all that cool stuff. But then after that, what's next? There's always got to be something next, because we're humans, yes, but I believe we're spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, the spirit is always desiring continuous expansion and full expression of self. And that's something that a lot of people don't really consider or think about, and a lot of people feel kind of lost or kind of undirected or no lack of clarity. And that's because people don't realize within them there's seeds of purpose. And in order to have that clarity, you need to plant, not just plants, but groom those seeds. You need to water those seeds. And those seeds are passions, they're desires, they're those dreams that you have in your head. And that's why it's important, when you have a dream, you gotta pursue that. And in the pursuit of that, you learn how to expand. So in the second circle, expansion happens. However, there's still a lack of fulfillment. And right now, I'm still in the second circle. I'm still learning how to become these things. I'm still breaking the chains of financial freedom, chains of debts, chains of all these other things. And in these first two circles, I'm the center and you are the center. Whoever it is the center of those circles. To have absolute fulfillment, though, we must be on the outside of the circle. And that's where legacy's left. So the third circle, which my goal is to be there within the next few years, is where the focus is no longer on your own goals, your own definite purpose. Because by then, likely, you have brought many visions to fruition. And the only way you can truly expand is by impacting other people. And the only way you can impact other people is by teaching them how to do the same things that you did, bring that vision to fruition, and duplicating that ability to expand. And so, for me, I believe everyone has a definite purpose. And sadly, most people don't pursue that because we're taught and told to do what's normal, which is get that 9-to-5 job, go to college, get that 9-to-5 job, and just settle. And that, I think, is one of the worst things to do, because that gets us into a state of drifting. And if we're drifting, we're not able to truly live life. And that's why so many people get caught up in things of the flesh, such as drugs, lust, partying, all this other stuff, which none of that stuff is living. All that stuff is suppressing your ability to experience life. It holds you back from being present in the moment, and that is essentially death. And it's sad because a lot of people are walking zombies, and the sad part about that is everybody has the ability and opportunity to live a beautiful life, yet most people never even have the awareness that that is within them. And so right now I'm still pursuing building my own beautiful life, but one of my biggest goals and one of my biggest things I want to do in the process of doing so is to allow my elevated frequencies to elevate people around me, and in doing so help them break their chains. And for me, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian I believe I'm a child of God, strategically designed for greatness, which means that every single obstacle I'm going through, every single hardship, every single loss is all strategically designed to get me to that level of greatness that I need to be, so that I can live as a sovereign citizen of heaven. And as a sovereign citizen of heaven, I believe it's a duty to help other people break their chains, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. And right now, still in the process of doing that. And so back to the original question, what situation caused a change in perspective for me? There was no direct situation. For some people, they need that. For others, it's a draw and it's a pull. And I believe that there is an infinite intelligence that is trying to direct people in life, whether it's pulling through passion or pushing through obstacles towards getting to fulfill the definite purpose. And to summarize everything, everybody has the ability to bring whatever they have in their head to fruition. When you think about it, the airplane was a joke. Everything in this house was all just a thought. And so anything in your mind, if you have it, your dominant thoughts can be brought to life. And the first aspect is, and this is one thing, is we're four-dimensional creatures. The first thing is a thought. And when you have an idea in your head, whether it's something you want to attain or someone you want to aspire to become, you need to write it down. And when you go from 1D and you write it down, that becomes 2D. Then after you write it down, you have to plan on paper how to bring that to fruition, which eventually that leads to 3D. And now the fourth dimension is, as I said, we're spiritual beings. And so when the vision is only 1D and you're thinking about what it'll feel like to attain that or aspire that, you can feel your heart rate increase, you can feel euphoria start to increase. That is all your frequency elevating to that higher level. And it's important, this is what visualization is too. It's very important to be able to visualize every single day what you want to attain and accomplish and aspire to be. Because the more you spend mentally in that higher level of frequency or vibration, the more you're going to start, and this is the law of attraction, the more you're going to start to attract the ideas, the things, the people, the resources to bring that vision to fruition. And so that's where it becomes 3D. Now though, as you're sitting there with that vision and you're feeling those feelings, the vision's already there. The only thing keeping it from being there is time. Because in a spiritual realm, there is no such thing as time. Time is it's a physical thing. And so now, this is where faith and patience comes into play. You've got to put in the work that you planned on that two-dimensional paper until it's three-dimensionally brought into existence. And the entire time, in the fourth dimension, the instant you desire to have something, and you write it down, and you create a plan, it's already done. And the only thing keeping it from being brought to full fruition is time. And so, with that being said, have a definite purpose, have a vision, have a plan, and have faith. Because on the road to that definite purpose and bringing that vision to fruition, the devil and the world is going to come at you aggressively and try to take you out of that path. Because most of the time that path is going to lead to a path of light, which is going to inspire other people to do the same. And the devil wants a planet full of people drifting with no definite purpose. And we are, again, I believe, children of God, created in His image, and God is a creator, which means everybody on this planet who's a child of God, created in His image, is also a creator. And so with that, envision and create and become.